Rapano, and this is the show where we talk about all things that are going to help you be productive on your path to creating success. Today, I am excited because we are diving into my very own Clarity Success module, and we are breaking it down letter by letter. So today, we're diving into the letter C, and it is all about clarity of vision and how when you have a clear vision, it's going to allow you to be more productive in everything you do. And I am super excited because I have today an amazing guest and also a dear friend, Miss Julie Jacobs. Julie, welcome to the stage.
Hi, Clara. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. Thank you.
I couldn't possibly have a segment without having you here because these are the things that you talk about and you work with your clients. So talk to us a little bit about the importance of having a good solid vision for your path to success, for your goals, your organization, and more importantly, how that vision really helps you to be productive and not work on accident.
Sure. Ooh, I like that. Working on purpose. Well, I can tell you that having a vision is a practice. So once you've developed it, you need to refer to it and use it for future. Now, how do we even develop it? Well, you have to ask yourself, or potentially a coach may ask you, a couple of questions. What's important to you? I know that sounds like, well, duh, but a lot of us don't really think about that because we're so busy just doing the damn thing. So if we stop and look at what's important to us, what do we love? What do we value? And what brings us joy? Or what makes us crazy and we know we have to change it?
Yes, we have to know the crazy town too, don't we?
We're all fighting the patriarchy over here.
Exactly. And I think it's so important to really look at these areas, not just of, what is it that we have to do or what monetary goal, but again, really looking at that whole vision of defining what does success look like for me, because that's going to help you. And I know for me, as far as helping me be productive, it really brings in a sense of checks and balances. Because when something comes up, I don't have to say yes or no. I just take it to my vision. Does this movie move me towards my vision or away from my vision? Do you find that that is something that you work with your clients as well?
Absolutely. We refer to it all the time. And you have to know when an adjustment is necessary. These are not written in stone. While it can guide you and lead you to your successes, there's going to be times when things have to be adjusted because don't we all just know that life happens? So I think what's important for us, especially as women, is to be gentle with ourselves. If things aren't going as perfectly aligned with our vision as we would hope, be gentle with ourselves, try again, let's go.
So, how often then should you be doing this? Because I can see a blessing and a curse with this. I think
Yeah.
the beautiful thing is you do want to allow for adaptation and adjustments. But if you're changing your vision every day, nothing's going to get done. So, what do you think is that sweet spot for kind of reviewing and really, doing the adjustments that need to be done?
I think that in my life, it's about yearly. I definitely look at what have I accomplished? Is this what I wanted? With my business, it's more quarterly,
Mhm.
but that's kind of more in the numbers part of it, if that makes any sense. So as far as you're absolutely correct. We cannot go around having our vision change every single day because then it wouldn't be a vision. It would just be random thoughts.
Mhm.
So just seeing how things in your life at the time are aligning with your vision.
Yeah. One of the other things that I think having a solid vision does, as far as it's leading to being more productive, is
Yes.
I've noticed that when I share my vision with other people, it helps me to be more productive because now I have other people watching me and holding me
Yeah.
accountable. Do you encourage others to share their goal to help them stay on the path as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You've got to get it pen to paper and out in the universe.
Mhm.
So, excuse me, like you were saying earlier about, well, as far as productivity, when I have a vision that I'm actively looking at and have internalized and have decided on, and here we go. When some sort of a choice has to be made, kind of what you were saying a little bit earlier was that I can just measure that choice or option up against my vision, and then I can say yes or no. So that's productivity right there. I'm cutting out like hours of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I really don't want to hurt this person's feelings, but I really want to, do this other thing. And none of that has to happen when you've got that vision.
For sure. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is the idea of burnout or sort of losing our mojo.
Yeah.
Because when we start to lose that spark, our productivity also diminishes and starts to drop.
Yes.
Somebody once asked me what I thought was most important, discipline or motivation. For me, it's directing it back to the motivation from my vision. And one of the things that I try to do is if I feel like I'm losing my light, I love to go back to my vision to re-energize me, because it's not about, oh, I've got to go make sales calls. It's, I get to go impact lives. The impacting lives energizes me to be productive and do the right activities. What are your thoughts on that in using your vision to, reignite you to actually get you to do the things you need to do?
I'm so glad you asked this question, because I want to go back even farther in time and talk about mindset. So when we are creating a vision, we need to make sure I like things in threes. So I'm going to share my three. We've got to make sure we're getting enough sleep. We've got to make sure we're having enough movement in our life, however that looks for you. And we've got to have our mental health in check, whether that's seeing a therapist or not, like whatever that means for you. So once that is another thing, like I talked about, practice. A vision is a practice. So if you're constantly monitoring and making sure that you've got your sleep right, your movement right, and your mental health is something that you're working on, it's more difficult to stray from the vision because you've got clarity, first of all, with your mind, and you're sleeping right, and you're moving your body.
I love that you're talking about this idea of bringing in that mindset and that wellness piece, because I don't think you can be productive when you're feeling depleted. One of the things that I love to do in getting my mindset right is after I lay out all my goals, my financial goals, my life goals, all of those things, I ask myself, who is it I need to become in order to achieve these goals? And then I use that to set my mindset up so that every day, every week, it's, am I acting in accordance with this person I need to become? And I kind of feel like that's what you're saying too, is get your mindset in alignment to be the person to achieve the goals.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And I do feel that as a coach, especially when I'm working with new clients, there's a tendency to be goal oriented, like, how am I going to get here? But if we're able to break that goal down monthly, weekly, daily, smaller increments and smaller goals to get to where that person who we need to be, to get wherever she is, that is very, very, very powerful to be able to set those smaller goals and achieve them.
And as we bring this segment to a close, one of the things that you brought up early on that I think is so powerful is the idea that your vision can change. I like to think of it as your vision can be progressive. My vision of what success looked like when I was 20 is very different now that I'm in my 50s.
Yeah.
And, it's more about legacy. So I think, again, talking about, giving yourself permission. I think so many times, we get stuck, again, being that goal oriented. So, what are some things that you say to your client to help them open up when they have to change their goal? Because that could be hard.
Yes, it can be hard, and it can be a little bit discouraging depending on our mindset. If we look at it from the perspective of, this is going to get me closer to my goal ultimately, this vision, then it's a no-brainer. But when we start to feel a little bit shaky, and there's times when I'll have a client who's just, I call it future tripping, like all these things are going to happen in the future and I'll never get there, and what is this and what's that, and they start to catastrophize. Which, not that I'm unfamiliar with the process. And I just say, where are your feet? Where are your feet right now? So we kind of look at where we are in that moment, and then we take it a little bit more slowly, because when we are, our mind's going, it's like negative, 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 negative. We just like take a breather and put some positive in there, do a little celebrating.
I love it. Do you practice, visualization exercises, written affirmations? Do you do any of that to help you stay connected with your vision and stay productive?
Of course. And I have a few things that I say all the time that connect me to my vision and mission. And do you want to hear what it is?
I do.
Okay. As a reminder to myself that I'm put here on this planet to help women. That's my big goal. I want to help women. Like, that's my whole deal. If I come up across something that I could be perceived as a negative or whatever, I say to myself, I am spirit. I am active in the physical. So what that means is, hey, man, I'm just on this planet for a little while. I'm just going to do exactly what I want to do to help women. And it takes a little bit of the pressure off me. I also start to visualize like that we're all just spirits, and where were we before, and all that stuff. So it helps me get into like a more dreamy mindset.
Love it. Yeah, one of the affirmations that I do every day is I live my life with purpose and passion to impact 1 million lives or more. Because again, it reminds me of the person I want to become, and I love being able to start my day out with that positive affirmation and that movement forward with my vision. So, Julie, thank you so much for joining us. We've covered a lot of items, the power of knowing your vision, of using your vision as your compass. And when you have that clarity of what it is you truly are working on, it's going to put that fire in your belly so that you're showing up with the right energy, the right focus, and therefore being able to stay productive. So, Julie, if somebody's out there watching us right now and they want to get connected with you, what's the best place for them to find you?
Well, I just love it when people slide into my DMs on Instagram. So Julie_Jacobs_coaching. You'll find me there. That's probably the easiest.
Beautiful. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much. And for those of you watching, stay tuned, because we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes after this quick commercial break. And we're going to be talking more about how to stay productive and be productive.
Many people think when it comes to buying a home that you have to have a lot of money for down payment, excellent credit, and a long employment history, and be ready to drown in paperwork. Hi, I'm Joanne Cooper, Senior Loan Officer at First Nationwide Mortgage. Would you believe that I've been in this business for 18 years, and I can tell you that all those beliefs are false. My goal is to educate people so they can make well-informed decisions. Mortgage loans are not one size fits all. There are many decisions and options available to you, but most people don't know about them. Many lenders squeeze all their clients into that same loan program instead of customizing a loan for each of their individual needs. If you want to learn what questions to ask, order your copy of The Road to Home Ownership and Financial Freedom from Amazon. I wrote this book so people will have more say in their loan programs. Or better yet, call me and let's discuss the way your mortgage can work harder for you instead of the other way around.
Best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching Now Media Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
En esta era digital, las tarjetas de presentación de negocio son cosa del pasado. De hecho, la mayoría de las personas que las reciben las pierden en cuestión de minutos. La videotarjeta de negocios de Now Media es un video de su negocio especialmente creado por nuestros expertos con toda su información de contacto, los productos y servicios de su negocio y puede ser enviado de manera rápida utilizando su teléfono móvil. Cientos de negocios ya están viendo la diferencia. Llámenos hoy al 832-384-9588.
Palitos y Bolitas es la catedral de la explicación. Este programa es la única parada que necesitas para entender los porqués y cómo de todo lo que pasa en México y el mundo. Lunes a viernes, 7 p.m. por Heraldo Televisión.
Según el FBI, un robo ocurre cada 13 segundos. Los hogares y negocios sin un sistema de seguridad confiable tienen 300% más de probabilidades de ser robados. Alert 360 proporciona soluciones de seguridad sólidas y personalizadas a clientes residenciales y comerciales, ya sea seguridad en el hogar, detección de incendios y monóxido de carbono, protección contra inundaciones, atención conectada para personas mayores, soluciones de vigilancia administradas por video, monitoreo de alarma las 24 horas al día, 7 días a la semana y seguridad de personas. Alert 360 es su solución ideal. Además, Alert 360 tiene integraciones inteligentes para el hogar y el negocio, para una total tranquilidad, protegiendo lo más importante y reduciendo los costos de energía con nuestras funciones de programación automática de primera línea. Alert 360 ofrece descuentos en servicios de seguridad a personal militar, veteranos, primeros respondientes, educadores y personal hospitalario. No seas víctima, da un paso fuerte hoy. Llame a Rosana Torres al 832-863-8574 para su consulta gratuita.
Hi, and welcome back to Be Productive. I'm your host, Clara Capano, and this is the show where we talk with experts to provide you with key strategies to get out of being busy and to start being productive. Today, we are breaking down the Clarity Success Method, and we are focusing on the first component, which is the C, all about the importance of having a clear vision. And I am being joined by an expert in this field. Kristen Maurer, welcome to the stage. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Claire. So happy to be here with you.
It is awesome to have you here. You know, when we talk about having a clear vision, I knew I had to have you on the show because this is what you do. You help people really get granular with their vision and actually lay it all out and create vision boards. So talk to us a little bit about why, if we want to be productive and really work at the highest level possible, why do we need a vision? Why is that so important to us?
Such a good question. The vision is really what drives you. It's, when you get in your car and everyone, makes this analogy, you need to know where you're going. So the vision is something that when you can sit down and take the time and to say, okay, what is it that I really want here? What is it in you that is allowing you to say, this is what I want? And then you want to get the clarity is where you come in. Okay, the clarity is key. But the first thing you want to do is take the time to sit down and look at what you want, where you're going, why you want it. Like I always say, what is it? Why do you want it? Let go of the how.
Yeah.
First thing is getting it clear.
Yeah. For me, it was also really described to me when I started working on vision boards is that vision is sort of your rocket fuel. And it really becomes the starting point of all decisions you make. So bringing it back to a place of productivity, when an opportunity comes up, I can then bring it back and say, okay, is this the right thing for me to do? How does it fit in with my vision? So again, you have to have that vision because you don't know what to say yes to and what to say no to until you have the vision.
Yeah.
Now, as an expert in this field, are there certain areas that we should be paying attention to when we put our vision together? Is it simply just for business, or do you feel that when we're sitting down and creating our vision, it should expand into other areas as well?
Definitely should expand. I like to actually start with your life, because if you don't have a clear vision of the life that you want to lead, what is going to actually drive you to create the business or to have the business or to be in business or whatever it is that you do to bring in money to fuel your life. So if you're not in a good place in your life, then you don't have, that really deep momentum of why you're doing what you're doing. So definitely, I always say life first and then incorporate in, because if it's otherwise, it's really backwards. And that's where a lot of people get stuck, because they try to think, let me create the business to have the life I want. Absolutely. But it's very tied together to have a clear vision of your life first.
Definitely. So. And then what would be some of the other areas that maybe you encourage people to create a vision for?
I like to break down the life. Like, what is it that, first of all, what's the relationship that you have with yourself? Because that's key in any vision. When you're looking at who am I, how can I serve? What are the gifts that I bring into the world? That's really key, because it's you, not anyone else. And that sounds selfish. I know what some people say. That sounds selfish, all about me, but it is in a way all about you, because if you are not filling your cup and doing things that serve you, how can you serve others at a really high level? So I always say start with you first. It's your relationship with you. And then you're going to look at other areas. You're going to look at your health. You're going to look at your well-being. You're going to look at, what your business, you're going to look at different, like time freedom, money freedom. There's a lot of different components, but you really need to start with you. And that's why I say always in my workshops, we start with our relationship with ourselves first.
Well, and that is so important, because again, we can't move forward until we connect with ourselves first. And like you said, you can then have the other areas represented too. But if we're not whole, the rest of the vision probably isn't going to come together. Now, one of the things that I notice when I'm working with people and talking with people about vision is the vision that they had 10 years ago is not the same vision that they have today. And many times people struggle with, is it okay to change? And then what happens? Because it can also cause a lot of stress and a lot of reworking, everything that you've created. So what do you say to people who are maybe stuck, in creating their vision?
Honestly, what I love to say is go back to your imagination stage. When we're little, we're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or we're, creating different things. We're playing with toys. We're doing, an art classes, or it's part of our curriculum as we grow up. That word imagination gets shut down, because as we get older and we say, I want to do this or I want to do that, what happens is we listen to the outside world. Somebody will say, you can't do that. You're too old. You don't have enough money, or whatever you hear from the outside world that shuts you down. I say, go back to your imagination stage. What would it feel like if that thing that maybe you always wanted and didn't do? Or what would it feel like, period, if you hear something or something interests you? What would it feel like to have or do or be? Tap into yourself. Well, when you can imagine that, I think that is such a key we get away from. And I just heard recently about having the fun in your life. What brings you fun and brings you joy? What makes you happy and lights you up? Because you absolutely are supposed to have this beautiful, abundant life. And I think that's where people get stuck, because we tend to sometimes listen to the outside world, and that just shuts us down, because you can hear a justification either way. But when you're true to yourself, again, it comes back to you being, what's the life that you want to live? What do you want to do?
Exactly. One of the things that I notice is tying into exactly what you just said. I think when we become adults, we get so caught up in the how. How are we going to make this happen? And it's so overwhelming that many times we talk ourselves out of it before we even start down. And that's why one of my very favorite quotes is, the vision comes first, the how will find a way. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Because I feel like you were just saying, when we feel stuck, it's because we tend to think as adults, we're supposed to know how to do it all. So comes back to okay, what do I really want? And then when you up that question with yourself, what would I really love about that? That really can get you excited. You want to start looking at it start really thinking about getting into the details. And when you can really pay attention to that and you feel that excitement, your only job is to take one step, just one step. It's not, nobody who's been successful knew how to do it all, because guess what? once you start, things are going to happen. And it's the excitement and the momentum because you have gone back to your imagination stage and said, this is what I really want. And here's the thing. We've all done it at some point in our life. We've all gone there, done that, been there, whatever it is. When we were so focused on that, bring that energy back in. It's not your job to know how. It's just your job to continuously take steps. Mm-hmm. And when you can get into that energy, synchronicities, opportunities show up. And guess what? You're aware of them. And that allows you to see the next steps coming. It's all, I like to say, get on the staircase. Get on the staircase. Mm-hmm. Take the first step. The others will show up.
I love that. Get on the staircase. So the other thing I want to ask you is because you really have created some great events where you help people. You also do it with corporations and teams to build vision boards. And sometimes when we talk about vision boards, there are certain people who are like, oh, that's so childish, just cutting pictures out. But explain to me scientifically why it's important to have pictures to represent this vision rather than just simply writing down the words.
I think it's another level. We're all visionaries. You know, if I say the word Eiffel Tower, if I say the word elephant, like, what are you thinking of? Do you think of the word elephant, the word Eiffel Tower? If I say to you, you know, let's talk, well, what does your car look like? Are you thinking of your word car or what kind of car you have? Are you actually visioning your car? So visioning, like, we are visionary people. We see things, I mean, all day long. Like, this is what we do. We see things that remind us of things. So when you can really, and it's a process I've developed. And like I say, you know, you're not just going to come and cut pictures out. Literally step by step, I take people through a process where we're journaling and breathing and visualizing, and you're listening to music because you're really getting yourself an energy of, wow, what would it actually feel like? Because I think that is a really key component for you to actually just close your eyes, go back to your imagination stage and just vision it. What if you did have that thing? We're at that place. We're with that person. Whatever it is in that moment that you want, when you can actually go into like a dreamlike state, this literally opens up pathways in your brain. I mean, this brings a lot of neuroscience in, but this really allows you to just believe that it's here. If we look at energy's, it's there. And when you can believe it, because you can then see it, it's just another level. So I think it's a really key point.
Yeah. And I have my vision board. I update it about once a year when I do my annual plan. I might tweak it a little bit, but what I love to do is it's actually right in front of me. And one of the things I do every morning as part of my morning routine is I sit in front of my vision board and I look at it, but then I do close my eyes for just about 30 seconds. And I kind of run through what does it look like and connect with the feelings, because I also know from a scientific basis, we're training our brains to look for opportunities, because we have to remember that our brain is actually a computer and it goes searching for whatever it is we tell it to go find. So by having that vision board, that vision really laid out, we're actually setting our brain on basically on a quest to go and find those things, you know, to get them to happen for us. Have you seen that? Do you talk about that with your clients?
Absolutely. And you made a key point, because when you close your eyes and you're like, okay, now I'm going to vision, this is the part when, you know, everyone's heard of the law of attraction. This is the law of vibration. This is, you know, we're energy, like you just said, we're putting out a vibration, and these opportunities that just show up. I mean, we all have stories of like, oh my gosh, I was here and talking to this person and that person, and these things happened for you. This is because you're really turning your reticular activation system on in your brain. I like to think of it as like, okay, once I say what I want, it's like these little antennas go up and like tune me in to these things that have always been there. But now all of a sudden I am like seeing them for the first time when they've actually always been there. I mean, that reticular activation system, you know, you and I know it's, you just drove off the car lot with your brand new car and you feel like everyone's driving your car because you've tuned in. You knew that if that's the car you wanted and you wanted a new one, you knew what to do. You went to the dealership. So you put yourself, that's a great example of saying, what do I want? I know what to do. You don't know how it's all going to happen, but you know you're taking your first step. So it's allowing you to say, this is what I want. And when you're visioning it, and this is a big part of it, you get super clear and then you just release it and you allow those steps to continue to show up. That's the magic. Okay, so that's the magic.
Imagine. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard, I think, to lay back and to sort of surrender, but that's part of the beauty of it, is understanding that from a scientific and psychological perspective, we can set it and almost essentially forget it, but by having those visual cues, it keeps us in front. So I love everything that we talked about today, and we covered so many things with you. The idea I love about, the staircase. And again, just start with that one step. Connect back with your imagination. Tap into your inner child of when you were young and you were dreaming. And don't be afraid to go for those dreams. When we set up our vision, it really allows us to know all areas of our world of what we want to accomplish, and it starts to set the pathways to make it happen. So if somebody out here wants to connect with you, maybe learn more about the opportunities that you can help them with in creating their own vision, what's the best place for people to find you and connect with you?
Right now, I'd say Instagram, go to Sunflower Connections. I'm actually in the middle of changing some things in my business. And, you guys know the tech isn't all there yet. Go to Instagram and Facebook at Sunflower Connections. That's the best way. Just DM me and I'm happy to reach out and happy to connect.
Beautiful. So one last question before we close it out. When did you start doing your first vision board? How old were you?
It was years ago. And I think as a kid, I remember laying in bed, getting excited about something the next day. Mm-hmm. And before I went to sleep, visioning. And it was years before I realized that I was doing this as a kid, and we all did that. You're excited about some big thing, whether it was Christmas or holidays or just a birthday party or whatever it was, getting in that. And then I would go to sleep because I would know, it's coming, and I can't wait. So the visioning part, I've been doing it for a long time. So how can help people do it?
Very good. Well, it doesn't matter how old we are. If we are a kid at heart, we can make those dreams become a reality. And remember, a key point to leveling up in your life, whether it's your business life or your personal life, you got to have that vision first. So keep sticking around. We'll be right back for more information about how we can be productive.
Thanks, Clara.
The best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching Now Media Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
Welcome back to Be Productive. I am your guide and host, Clara Capano, and today we are continuing our conversation all about the importance of getting clear in our vision in helping us stay productive. And now we are bringing to the stage a dear friend of mine, Pam Cass. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So excited to be here.
You bet. Pam, you are so great at what you do. You are a master level coach. And so you work with people on helping them create a mindset for success each and every day. Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about why you feel it is so important for us to have that clarity of our vision as a way to help us maintain our level of productivity.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So why a vision is so important is it gives us a roadmap for where we want to be. And so typically when I will start coaching somebody, we look at where are you now, but where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, so that we have a clear vision, so that then we can identify what that gap is between where they're at and where they want to be. And so if they don't have that clear vision, it makes it really hard when you're trying to set goals or focusing on things. And when you have a clear vision, it helps you identify the things to say yes to and the things to say no to. Because if it's not driving you to your vision, then it probably shouldn't be something you're putting energy into. So that's why it's so important.
Definitely, using it as sort of as that checks and balances to make sure you're staying on the right path. You mentioned, having that for a year, 5 years, 10 years. Mm-hmm. How specific do our goals need to be or our vision rather need to be with our goals?
I think they need to be pretty specific. I personally, and it's something I've been doing for years, I actually have a vision statement. And so it's a vision statement that is wrapped up. It's got some 5-year in it. It's got some 10-year, and it's got some long-term goals in it. And it is very specific as to what I want to achieve. That way I can take that vision and I can take small little things out of it and focus on those specific goals. And then I can set up an action plan to achieve those goals. So the more specific, the more you can visualize it and actually see it in your head. And there's different ways you can do that, whether it's creating a vision board, which is something I used to do, doing a story. And for me, it's really a vision statement that I write out that's like 2 pages long. And I write it every single morning after I do my affirmations. And it's down to everything, where I'm living, my health, my kids, my finances, everything, including wanting to be on the cover of Forbes magazine. So I'm throwing that out there.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people might be listening to this and saying, well, that sounds kind of childish, elementary, does something like that really work? How have you seen this concept of maybe writing the story and looking at that vision board? Why does this really even work for us?
Yeah. Well, if we don't know where we're going or have an idea of what we want it to look like, it's really hard to make decisions and make sure that those decisions are in alignment with where you're going. So it's kind of like never setting a goal for yourself and hoping you get there. It would be like, or it could be simple as, I want to take a trip across the country, and I'm older. Those old AAA trip kits that we used to get, it'd be like getting one of those, having a vision of what the vacation is going to look like, stick it in my glove box and never looking at it again, and just hoping that we get to the destination. And so that vision is, we've got to have that out and in front of us all the time so that it gives us that roadmap for those goals that we want to set for ourselves. So I think it's not childish at all. If we don't know what we want, how can we know that we're making the decisions that are leading us in that direction?
Right. Now, let's talk about this, because you get the roadmap out.
Yep.
But even if I was traveling and I was jumping in a car and driving from San Francisco to New York, I might choose to take some detours along the way or change my path. Can the same thing happen with our vision? Because, the vision that I had when I was in my 20s is probably not the same vision that I have right now. So what happens when we want to change our vision?
Yeah. And that's a great point, because I think sometimes we think that we create this vision and that's it. It's set in stone. It should change. It should be something that evolves over time based on our age, based on different likes, different goals that we end up setting for ourselves. I know that mine has changed over the years, where I'm writing it out and I'm like, you know what, that's not really important to me anymore, just based on, how old I am and where I am in my stage of life and how old my kids are. And so it is something that can be tweaked over time, but there's got to be some kind of foundation. And a lot of that foundation comes from first identifying what your core values are, because your core values kind of are the foundation for that ultimate vision that you're setting for yourself, if that makes sense.
It does. And you know what? I think a lot of people, at least a lot of the people that I speak to, they struggle with understanding core values and what they really are. Can you maybe give us some examples of what some core values will be? So if people aren't really familiar with what defines a value, they might have a reference point.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, my core values are to inspire, authenticity, kindness. Those are all things, growth, education. So those are all things that are core values to me. So a core value is a way you want to live your life, the things that are important and are passionate to you. And so for me, coaching and teaching, that's a way I can inspire people. And so that's a core value. So I know that a lot of the things that are inside of my vision are related to things that will hopefully inspire other people and do it in an authentic way, which is another one of my core values. And so living in alignment with those core values will help us identify what that vision statement can be.
And is this going back to what you started off talking about by using this as sort of a roadmap? When an opportunity comes up to you, do you run it through those core values? Is this going to allow me to inspire? Is this going to allow me to show up authentically? And is that how you sort of maintain that you're making better quality decisions?
Yeah, absolutely. It basically becomes the filter of every one of my decisions. So I get asked to do something. I need to do that check. All right. Is it in alignment with these things? Is it going to be authentic? Is it going to be kindness? Is there going to be inspiration inside of there? And if it is in alignment with all of those, then I absolutely will do it. If it's not, then I will just unfortunately have to say, unfortunately, at this time, I'm not able to do that. So yeah, so it's really the filter, and it really helps us set some boundaries so that we make sure that we're not doing a whole bunch of stuff that isn't driving us towards our vision.
I love that. And I love how you talk about, again, it's that point of reference. It's that filter you talk about, and you just run everything through the filter. And I think that that's really powerful. Now, I do know that there are some people, when you ask them, what is your vision? They're like, I have no idea. And I don't know if it's because maybe they're afraid to make something solid because now they actually have to do it. Or again, it's the confusion. And, one of the things that you and I both know and have talked about is that when people are confused, they can't move forward. Yes. And another reason why we need to be clear. So if you were sitting down with someone, maybe one of your clients, and they were like, I don't even know what my vision is. Where is a good starting point?
Really the good starting point first is identify what your core values are. And then second, I like to have people go through their life, just like, let's look back on your life. What are the things that you've done or been involved with that most fueled you, like got you really excited, that when you did it, it didn't feel like you were working? That typically is something that is fired by something. It's fired probably by your core values. And so if you can go back and start to identify, what were the things that I've done over the years that, man, when I did that, I just felt the most alive. And so for me, as I looked back, it was, gosh, when I'm up teaching, that just fuels me. Like, I love that. If I'm speaking, I love that. If I'm coaching people, I'd love to see other people achieve success. So those were things that fueled me. So I'm like, okay, so I know that that's part of it. So now let's create that vision of what my life looks like. And so really starting there is probably the best way to do it, is just kind of doing a check of what are the things that I've done that I absolutely love doing? What do I not love doing? And then let's start building a vision of what that future looks like for ourselves.
Now, one of the things that I also notice is we tend to get in our own way. And we might have this vision, especially if it's a 5 or a 10-year vision. It seems so far away. And sometimes I think we, whether it's conscious or unconsciously, talk ourselves out of it. Because we get so caught up in how are we going to make this work? So talk to me a little bit about sort of the dream aspect. Do we have to have all the answers of how it's going to work out right now?
No, absolutely not. And who knows if all the stuff on my vision statement is going to work out. But something that I have done over the years is I make sure that I share this with somebody else so that they know what I'm working for. And so that they have a clear idea of, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's because I really do have this clear vision. So I think that's really important to, write it down. Yes, it may not all happen. And I tell people the sky's the limit. It's kind of like when we're creating our bucket list. Pretend like you're a 10-year-old child again, and just write that vision statement like you have no limits. Sometimes what we do, though, is we talk ourselves out of it. We'll say, well, I'd really like this, but that's not going to happen. So I'm probably not going to put that in my vision statement because that's a little scary. And I say, pretend like you're a kid that there's no limits and you can do anything. And if you put that on there, what happens is your reticular activating system, it'll start seeking out things that are in alignment with that vision statement, and that will help you get to where you want to go.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of, again, getting in touch with your inner 10-year-old, because when we're young, again, we dream. We think of all these things, and we never think for a minute that it's not possible. And we're not afraid, and when we become an adult, I think our fears and our practical application kicks in. And then we think we have to have all the answers. So, we covered so many great aspects today. We covered the aspect of, starting with your vision, start with those core values. What really excites you? What makes you tick? Who is it? What are some words that really represent, you and the life that you want to live? The idea of writing it down, having maybe some images like on a vision board and then revisiting it on a regular basis. So Pam, I know that there might be some people out there that want some help. So if people wanted to reach out to you and maybe get some help in solidifying their vision a little bit, what's the best place that people can find you?
Yep. You know what? You can go to the Ninja Selling site. So ninjaselling.com. You can find me there under coaching. I do teach classes with Ninja as well. Also have a podcast, Reignite Resilience, which kind of is all about self-help and adversity that we go through. And you can go to reigniteresilience.com. You'll find us there as well. But yeah, so really anyway, reach out to me. I'd be happy to share with you tools and things that I've done and ways that I've helped my clients reach and create those vision statements so that they're focusing and driving towards what they want to do and see with their life.
I love that. And I love the idea that your podcast is all about resiliency. Yes. And I think that fits so beautifully because sometimes it's in that resiliency that we have to re-examine our vision and again, get that clarity back of what it is that we're working for. So I love everything that you are doing. You are such a powerhouse. Every time I see you, you just command the room and do it with such grace and professionalism. So it's been an honor to have you here. And thanks for sharing so many tips and strategies with us today. So for all of you watching, stay tuned. We'll be back with more Be Productive.
Hey, Lily says AT&T is giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Hello, my name is Charles Sanders, and I'm a personal injury attorney with the Rose Sanders Law Firm, based in Texas and with offices in Houston, Dallas, McAllen, and El Paso. We assist individuals throughout the entire state who have suffered harm due to the negligence of another person. With my experience as an insurance adjuster, I understand and I know exactly how to counter the strategies employed by insurance companies, and I'm bringing this knowledge to you. We handle a wide variety of situations ranging from car accidents to defamation and unsafe property conditions. We are here to provide support and legal representation at no cost to you. Call us today at 713-221-3773.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
The best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching Now Media Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
El tema está en los países. Liderazgo y experiencia. Nuestro país debe meterse en las grandes discusiones y en los grandes debates. Son parte de una carrera exitosa. Se juegan dos estados. Él es referente en el periodismo. definen el 2024. Javier Solórzano te espera cada noche para llevarte las noticias, el análisis y las entrevistas más importantes de lo que sucede día a día en el país. Este es el referente de la noche.
The best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching Now Media Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
Hey, Lily says AT&T's giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Hello, my name is Charles Sanders, and I'm a personal injury attorney with the Rose Sanders Law Firm, based in Texas and with offices in Houston, Dallas, McAllen, and El Paso. We assist individuals throughout the entire state who have suffered harm due to the negligence of another person. With my experience as an insurance adjuster, I understand and I know exactly how to counter the strategies employed by insurance companies, and I'm bringing this knowledge to you. We handle a wide variety of situations, ranging from car accidents to defamation and unsafe property conditions. We are here to provide support and legal representation at no cost to you. Call us today at 713-221-3773.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
The best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching Now Media Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
El tema está en los países. Liderazgo y experiencia. Nuestro país debe meterse en las grandes discusiones y en los grandes debates. Son parte de una carrera exitosa. Se juegan dos estados. Él es referente en el periodismo. No definen el 2024. Javier Solórzano te espera cada noche para llevarte las noticias, el análisis y las entrevistas más importantes de lo que sucede día a día en el país. Este es el referente de la noche.
Technology is one of the most critical aspects of business operations. So you need the right technology partner to provide you the peace of mind of having reliable, efficient IT systems and adequate data protection for your business. At CMIT Solutions of Sugar Land, we provide managed, tailored IT solutions and professional 24/7 IT support services. We proactively monitor, maintain, manage, and protect your IT and data assets. We take care of your IT so that you don't have to worry about it. With our unique local and remote services model, we not only service our local Houston and Sugar Land area, but also locations all over the US with the help of the CMIT network, the nation's #1 trusted network of more than 240 CMIT Solutions offices. In short, we are a full services IT firm, proactively fixing potential mishaps before they occur, promptly taking care of your IT frustrations so that you can focus on your core work that enables growth of your business. Call me today for a complimentary consultation at 281-656-1099 for your unique IT needs.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Palitos y Bolitas es la catedral de la explicación. Este programa es la única parada que necesitas para entender los porqués y cómo de todo lo que pasa en México y el mundo. Lunes a viernes, 7 p.m. por Heraldo Televisión.
El tema está en que los países... Liderazgo y experiencia. Nuestro país debe meterse en las grandes discusiones y en los grandes debates. Son parte de una carrera exitosa. Juegan dos estados. Él es referente en el periodismo. No definen el 2024. Javier Solórzano te espera cada noche para llevarte las noticias, el análisis y las entrevistas más importantes de lo que sucede día a día en el país. Este es el referente de la noche.
I've helped small and medium-sized businesses and business owners to make sure that their legal rights and interests are protected. As general counsel for you and your organization, I can draft and review solid contracts, minimize the risk of litigation, review and prepare comprehensive business succession plans, or help you navigate your company with the local, state, and federal government. Take a decisive step today. I'm here to make sure your legal rights are protected and you have a peace of mind that you deserve.
The best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching Now Media Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
En esta era digital, las tarjetas de presentación de negocio son cosa del pasado. De hecho, la mayoría de las personas que las reciben las pierden en cuestión de minutos. La videotarjeta de negocios de Now Media es un video de su negocio especialmente creado por nuestros expertos con toda su información de contacto, los productos y servicios de su negocio y puede ser enviado de manera rápida utilizando su teléfono móvil. Cientos de negocios ya están viendo la diferencia. Llámenos hoy al 832-384-9588.
If you're like me, then you are probably in love with a woman. You spend miles and miles with her on the road, and she never complains, and she's always available wherever you go. However, this woman needs your attention, care, and maintenance. And yes, she needs to know that you love her too. And we know that we can fully take care of your lady for you. Hello, my name is Luciano. At Dirty Rancho Houston Motorcycles, we are a workshop specializing in motorcycle restoration, customization, and repair. That means we can change the oil or restore her natural beauty with a high-quality custom parts. At Dirty Rancho Houston.
En vivo desde Houston, la ciudad espacial. Esto es Now Media Televisión.